everyone. Welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimale in Abuja. Russia leader President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, for the Saudi-Africa Summit scheduled to be held tomorrow. The president was received by ministers, members of the National Assembly, as well as other government functionaries at the airport. President Tinubu will use the opportunity of that summit to underscore Nigeria's commitment to attracting more foreign direct investment and expanding business partnerships. Tonight, we'll be getting some response and reactions to the activities of the NLC and TUC who will picket at the airport today, leading to disruptions of flight. They're agitating and angry about the assault on the NLC president, Joe Ajaero, in Imo State. We'll be getting reactions from the Imo State governor tonight and the APC governorship candidate ahead of the Saturday governorship election. And of course, we'll also be touching base in Kogi State. Of course, one of the political parties is withdrawing from the race in Kogi State. We'll be giving you details of that tonight on the program. Stick around with me, everyone. But first, let's serve you with your political roundup stories.
The President of the Senate, Senator Govt, believes that other countries of the world will learn from Nigeria when the nation attains 50 years of democracy. Senator Akpabio stated this when he received the Irish ambassador, Mr. Peter Ryan, in his office in Abuja. Former Vice President of Nigeria, Mr. Atiku Abubakar, has called on the people of Kogi State to give their votes to the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Dino Melaye, in order to take the state to another level of infrastructure development. Mr. Abubakar stated this in Lokoja, the Kogi State capital, during the party's grand finale campaign. The co-chairman of the National Peace Committee, John Cardinal Nikon, is calling on the Independent National Electoral Commission and the federal government to be impartial in the conduct of the off-circle governorship election in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa states. He made the appeal during the peace accord signing ceremony in Lokoja, the Kogi State capital. A concerned group in Imo State, under the aegis of Imo Patriots League, has condemned the action of the NLC and TUC to embark on a strike action in Imo State with less than 48 hours to the governorship election. Addressing a news conference in Owerri, the state capital, the leader of the group, Mr. Owain Sonya Jones, says the action of the two unions is highly regrettable, as he advises the union leaders to employ democratic means in addressing the issues. The professor of political economy and management experts, Professor Pat Itomi, is suggesting a clear understanding and cooperation between the political class and the citizens to foster growth and development in Nigeria. According to Prof. Itomi, some of the challenges facing the country will not be resolved until the citizens raise and hold those in authority accountable for their policies and actions.
All right, then, let's let you know what happened today. It does look like the labor group, the labor unions, are keeping to the promise of a showdown. The members of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and their sister union, Trade Union Congress, TUC, today grounded activities at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. The move is part of actions by the unions following an attack on the president of the NLC, Mr. Joe Ajaero, in Imo State.
When the right of one individual is trampled, it is even enough to cause a national uprising. And for us, an injustice anywhere, it's actually injustice everywhere. So it doesn't matter. Imo State is part of Nigeria, and the president of Nigeria is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria, and he is the person that the IGP of police reports to. So for us, we are drawing the attention of the president and indeed the entire Nigerians to the absurdity that happened to the president of NLC. you know, we've given an ultimatum. And if we don't hear from the president and if decisive steps are not taken and actions are not taken between now and Tuesday, it's going to snowball into a national industrial action.
That is the TUC President, Comrade Festus Osifo. Today is the final day of campaign, and of course, there are a lot of reactions and political parties dotting their I's and crossing their T's. Is the final day they can officially and publicly campaign to voters, after which they cannot go do that any longer, either by broadcast or even by physical contact to campaigning. Tonight, we shall be getting reactions from the APC governorship candidate and the governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodinma, who joins us live from Owerri, the capital of Imo State. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight on the program.
Thank you, Sean.
Let's begin from these, what has become like a feud between your government and the labor union. They've threatened a showdown. They've accused your government of masterminding the attack on the NLC president. What hand do you have in all of this?
Well, Sean, I'm surprised to hear that there is a feud between the government of Imo State and the Nigerian Labour Congress. I don't think it is correct because there is no conflict. My relationship and that of my government with the Nigerian Labour Congress in Imo State is very cordial. All I have had is that the national leadership, the president of Nigerian Labour Congress, continues to issue threats. How he will shut Imo State down, how he will occupy Imo, how he will make life unbearable for Imo citizens. I have not been given the opportunity to understand the reasons behind all these threats. Since the president emerged as the president of Nigerian Labour Congress, I've only met him once in Abuja by chance. He has never led any formal complaint to me, person one-on-one. He has never visited his governor, my humble self. There has never been any courtesy extended to me. But I don't know the reason behind all this hostility to my government. I, for one, have a very good relationship with the Labour in my state, to the extent that the Labour has on several occasions given me award, commended me publicly and privately on the improved relationship between my government and them since my assumption into office. So I think that maybe something is wrong somewhere. But I'm looking forward for that day. I'll have an opportunity to engage with the national leadership of Nigerian Labour Congress. So I will understand actually really what are the issues. It's very surprising that the president of a labor union from Imo State will decide to be hostile to his state. Though I'm not completely surprised, because in several occasions he has mentioned and confirmed to me, to the public, that he's a member of the Labour Party. Of course, political contest that is going on now. The Labour Party also has a candidate in Imo State, and I am a candidate. So I don't know whether the political contest in Imo State has been dragged up to the Nigerian Labour Congress. So I don't know. So maybe you help me find out.
Governor Uzodinma, there are a few things that the NLC is aggrieved about, and they've listed it, and they are worried about the welfare of the workers in Imo State. And part of their grievance and the reasons why they were going to protest last week in Imo State include refusal, according to them, of your government to implement previous agreements. And they said repeatedly that your government has reneged on agreements, most notably the accord reached on the 9th of January 2021 between the government and the organized labor. They said there are outstanding salary arrears. They said there are unjust declaration of workers as ghost workers, vandalization of NLC State Secretariat, implementation of discriminatory pay. These are some of the long list of grievances of the labor union against your government in Imo State.
Well, Sean, I think maybe it will help you to have some information, the relationship between my government and the labor since January 15th, 2020, when I assumed office as the governor. My first point of call when I resumed was the Civil Service Secretariat. When I visited that secretariat, it was an eyesore. And I had a meeting with the labor union. And immediately, I renovated, rebuilt the Civil Service Secretariat. Immediately, I reorganized the civil service, automated the nominal role, automated the payment system and payment processes, and motivated the morale of the staff. Recall for how many years when federal government started the 30 naira minimum wage. It was not implemented in Imo State until I came into office 2020 January. I started implementing the minimum wage. I made sure workers were paid full salaries. In the process of automation, we discovered that many workers were not actually in existence. We also discovered that some workers were receiving double salaries. Some that have worked for local government before, transferred to state civil service, were receiving salaries both at the local government level and at the state civil service. Some were receiving salaries in 2 departments or 2 ministries where they have worked before. So the system were able to process this nominal roll and remove those names. And then came some agitation, kind of. We were able to explain to some people. Of course, those who were receiving double or triple salaries were placed on hold. Eventually, some interventions here and there, we were able to lift the hold. And we've been so friendly as a group. And I can tell you, the Nigerian Labour Congress in Imo State, who are supposed to be the complainants, have openly stated that they have a good working relationship with me. And they have no reason to embark on a strike. They have no reason to even disagree with the government. Because never in the history of civil service in Imo State has any state government treated them the way I have done.
All right, then. But let me take a quick follow-up on that. Now, how then do you explain, Governor Uzodinma, the kind of attack and the assault on Joe Ajaero in your state, who is a citizen of your state and an NLC president? Because they have alleged that your government, under your watch, supervised his assault. How do you explain that?
I think Joe Ajaero is pursuing his personal interests. He said times without number that he's a member of Labour Party. He has a candidate in the election of Imo State. So he is driving whatever program that will give advantage to Labour Party in Imo State. He said without number so many times that as a member of Labour Party, his interest is Labour Party. Sheung, if you have followed very clearly and with interest the history of Labour Congress in Nigeria from 1999 to date, never in the history of any government has Labour Congress or Labour Union shown the level of hostility they have shown to this administration, from the presidency to National Assembly, to state governments. Otherwise, how do you explain a situation? Assuming anybody has gone to Riyadh to report that there were things that Imo State government has not done right, I think the first thing you should do is to try to find out from the state government. As I speak to you, we have not met. We have never discussed. He has never presented anything to me. The allegations you are just rolling out now, I'm hearing for the first time. But assuming, but not considering.
Apologies to Button. Does he explain the reason on the assault on him? Because they have alleged that you supervise, your government supervised it, and you back those who beat him up and assaulted him. Does that explain just because you think that he's not supporting you or he's supporting Labour Party to the assault of the NSC president?
No. Honestly, there are some other opposition parties in this state. I have no reason. I'm not a member of the Labour Union. I have no reason to encourage or support an assault on Joe, who is the president of Nigerian Labour Congress. I have a lot of respect to the Labour Union. We are friends. Most of the leaders in the organization are my friends. So there is nothing I cannot discuss.
But Governor Uzodinma, are you able to apologize to him? Because as a governor of Imo State and the chief security officer of that state, if such a personality who has a national status comes to your state and is being assaulted in that manner, and they are asking for apologies, are you able to tonight apologize to him for the kind of manner in which he was treated?
No, that is why I'm very surprised, because I was in Abuja when this thing happened. And the first thing I did was to place a phone call. And when I called, I asked what has happened. They told me. I spoke to the commissioner of police. He explained to me. I was not even aware that the president of Nigerian Labour Congress came into my state. I was not even aware. And what I did, I condemned the action. But however, it was an internal agreement between the Labour Union. It has nothing to do with my government. So, but ordinarily, whether Joe is the Labour Union president or not, if such a thing happens to any human being, of course I must apologize because it's in my state. But what I don't understand
are you able to directly apologize to him, Governor Uzodinma? This happened directly to him, but are you able to isolate this matter and talk directly to him? Assuming Mr. Ajero is watching tonight, what would you be telling him?
Well, what I can say, because I'm a Christian and I believe in God and cannot support violence. I can never support act of violence. So whatever that has happened to Joe Adero in my state, which I am not aware of, can never be aware of, that led to him being assaulted, of course must be regretted by both my government, my person. But at the same time, going further, I would also like him to do things in a more civilized manner and more civilized approach. That's the point I'm making. That a man who is from my state at that level to come to want to begin to go on street without hearing me out, without bringing the matter or all these allegations you are saying before me, to say the least, is not acceptable.
All right, Governor Uzodinma, let's deal with the reason why you want a re-election, and it's going to be a tough race on Saturday. And there are those who believe that, well, why does Senator Hope Uzodinma think he should be re-elected? First and foremost, you would consider some of the security situation in your state, and perhaps what you say is some of the infrastructure development that you claim that you have done in Imo State, the workers' welfare, and a host of other things that that you have said in your campaign that we have listened to. Part of some of the things that you have also said is how you will give jobs to the people of Imo State outside of Nigeria. These are things that need to be some kind of clarification. Well, let me ask you pointedly, why should anybody in Imo State think of you when they get to the ballot or to the polling unit on Saturday? Why should they think of voting Uzodinma for governor again?
Well, to start with, start from the civil service. Any worker in Imo State on Saturday who is going to go to vote will at least remember that they have just received his salary. Before I came, there were a backlog of salaries that were not paid. Then, going to vote, the road that you follow to the polling units. If you remember that before I came, what the road was and what the road is now, he will remember that the man who did the road is Uzadema, and he will want him to continue. Those who come from the hospital, sick bed, will appreciate the quality of treatment and service given to them. And they will remember that it was Uzadema who now fixed these hospitals. Then, getting to the voting center, the environment, the relationship, the psychology of people, the dividends of democracy that are brought as a governor, the intangibles and the tangibles will make them vote for me. I have not only recovered the broken down infrastructure, I have been able to also bring up the education sector. I have provided the Medicare. You are talking of insecurity. The root of insecurity was unemployment, idleness by our young men and women. I have empowered our youths. I have created jobs, the analog jobs, the digital jobs. I have introduced all sorts of things that is meant to engage our youth population. Today, the young men and women in Imo State are very enthusiastic and very happy because day by day, I bring up new ideas. I create new opportunities to engage them, to make sure they earn a living, to make sure they are proud to answer Imo sons and daughters. All these things I have done. Insecurity, by the way, we should be able to separate the natural insecurity occasioned by the hardship in the state or in the country, the economic recessions. Then there is this other type of insecurity contrived by the political class, those who claim to be in opposition. Now, the question I ask, those people who think Imo State will not vote for me, why are they causing trouble? Why can't they wait and go to the poll so that the people who vote who put them out if he has not been doing well? But Sheung, come down to Imo State. If those who know what Imo State was like before 2020, January 15th, and what Imo State is now, at least I have created an atmosphere of conviviality where a brother will see his brother and talk reasonably with him, where people can go about their businesses and be sure of what will happen at the end of the day. There is a mentality change in Imo State. I have recovered most of the broken down infrastructures. I've built hospitals. I've built schools. What is more?
Governor Uzodinma, one thing I would like to perhaps also hear from you is the economic state of Imo State. You look at some of the indices around the development of the people of Imo State, education, health. We'd like to know what you have done to add to some of this in terms of the IGRA. What have you done? What have you added since you got into office in terms of private sector investment? What are the new industries that have come on stream? But one fundamental thing is all of these things will thrive if security is solid. Now, there are those who are accusing you of blocking the way of the government of Bola Tinubu in releasing the leader of IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, relating to how the issue of unknown gunmen and the sit-at-home is going to be handled. What can you tell us? Do you have a hand in all of those things? Those who are accusing you of being a stumbling block, what can you say about that?
But to start with, when I came into Imo State as the governor, January 2020, we start from education. We had only one Imo State University. Now I'm the only state that is operating 3 universities, 1 polytechnic, college of education, and 1 college of education, 5 tertiary institutions. When I came here as the governor, our internally generated revenue was below 500 million. Today is very close to 3 billion. When I came here as the governor, most of the industries were moribund. Not only that I've recovered Adapam, recover the Imo Standard Choose, recover the Avotopotri. I'm trying to recover Avotopotri. I've created opportunities. I was able to put together, working in partnership with UNIDO, an industrial policy that has today become a roadmap for industrial revolution. Industries are coming in. When I came here as governor, the ease of doing business, Imo State was rated number 35. Today we are number 13 in the radar. These are indices that goes to show that economic activities are being stimulated in Imo State. So it is a lot of opportunities, but the politically contrived insecurity, which was meant, or which is meant to truncate all the creative thinking and ideas that are brought to bear with my style of governance, was supposed to stop me. But to the glory of God, why I have refused to be distracted, most of my economic policies and programs are going on. No wonder that from any part of Imo State you are now, you can access the state capital under 30 minutes. When I came into government, to go from Owerri to Olo used to be 2.5 hours. Today, under 25 minutes, you go from Owerri to Olo and Olo to Owerri. When I came here in 2020, to move from Owerri to Okigwe, 3 hours was not even enough. Today, you do it under 30 minutes. When I came here as governor, to move from Owerri to Umuahia, 3.5 hours, you will not be able, you are not even sure of getting to Umuahia. Today, even when the road is not completed, you can do that under 45 minutes. So why will I stop? What have I not done to bring a new idea? The narrative have changed. The ordinary man on the street, the ordinary woman on the street is appreciative of what I have
because
done.
we need to wrap this up quickly, Governor Uzodinma,
who are busy with the opposition.
Yeah, we need to wrap this up quickly. I'd like you to clear the air about your role in the proposed release of Nnamdi Kanu. Are you a stumbling block in that?
You know, I can never be a stumbling block, Sheon. Listen, I'm a mature Igbo leader who have a history before I became the governor. Nnamdi Kanu is our junior brother. And we are working together with Ohaneze Ndi Igbo to be able to secure Nnamdi Kanu's release. I'm not going to make it a public discourse because government does not function that way. I only know between me and my God, my role. And by the grace of God, I'm sure through dialogue, the presidency will understand, the federal government will understand, and eventually Nnamdi Kanu will be released.
All right.
But I don't want to go into unnecessary agitation occasioned by selfish interest, by those who want to create national confusion. And one thing you must know, and which I want to draw the attention of every Nigerian, is that from 1999 to 2007, we had a labor union. No, it wasn't a partisan labor union. From 2007 to 2015, we had a labor union without any political party. Adams Oshimole used the Labour Party to emerge as a governor of Edo State. There was no national confusion. This idea of being a partisan Labour Congress, who thinks now they are above board, must be discussed.
Governor Uzodinma,
and the Nigerian leaders must wake up. Lovers of democracy must wake up. A sitting time serves 9. I'm sending this warning, and people must take it very seriously, very, very seriously. And shame you from your career where you work, the media, you must rise to the occasion and protect our democracy. A sitting time serves 9.
All right, let's wrap this up in 30 seconds. The Labour Party has sworn that they will beat you silly on Saturday. Samuel Nwanyawu, the PDP candidate, has also sworn that they will beat you silly on Saturday in 30 seconds. Are you worried about the opposition and the fact that they are coming for your seat on Saturday? Just in 30 seconds.
We are going into a context, and all I ask of those who will beat themselves or who will beat me is to submit to the rules of the business, the rules of election. This idea of causing crisis, importing talks, causing violence. If you know you will beat me on Saturday, why are you crying? Because I continue to wonder, if it is the decision of Imo State, Imo people, to vote me in or vote me out, I will be honored. After I've been a governor now for 4 years, We are going for renewal of mandate. If I have done well, Imo people will vote for me.
All right.
If I have not done well, they will vote me out. But why do they cry more than the bereaved?
All right.
Why not allow me to face my fate?
All right. Governor Opuzodema, APC governorship candidate and the governor of Imo, said, I wish you the very best in this race, which, of course, campaign terminated today. And we see that the people and the interests of the Imo people will prevail on Saturday. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. I will appreciate it.
Sure, before you go, as the last campaign I will do, I want to use this opportunity to urge Imo people to come out in mass and vote for me, because I have really worked. And when I'm voted again, I will do better. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much indeed. Let's switch gears now and go to Kogi State now, one of the states where elections will happen. The NNPP says that they're withdrawing from the race in a letter signed by the state chairman, Sulaiman Abubakar. The party says that some are with the consultation with their members and stakeholders, informing the people of Kogi State that some of them within the structure of the NNPP are withdrawing from participating on the Saturday, November governorship election in the state. One of those who are in the top in the contest in Kogi State is the governorship candidate of the AA, Olayinka Burema, who joins us live here in our studio. Thanks so much, Mr. Burema, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
They say you are the young, vibrant one that is going to upset the status quo.
Correct.
You seem to be very confident, because I've seen a lot of tapes on your campaign and your campaign trail. You seem to be talking tough about how you're going to displace the status quo. What gives you the confidence? In the first place, a lot of people will say, hey, what structure does your party have? What gives you the confidence?
When you talk about structure, I mean, structures are people in terms of having the reach across the world, across the polling units. And that we have already. So in terms of structure, it's not a problem for us at all. We have our structure across the 239 wards and 3,508 polling units. So in terms of confidence, I don't think I have any reason to fear, because I'm on an assignment.
Action Alliance does not even have a local government seat in Kogi State. That's a political structure that is non-existent.
We don't have a local government seat. Which party does, other than the ruling party? We all know that local government elections are conducted by the State Independent Electoral Commission, and other than maybe Kaduna State, that had a kind of a clean local government elections, sometimes during the reign of Governor Nasir El-Rufai, that he created a level playing field for all the parties. I think that's, I can remember, but for every other state.
Even your own Kaba, Bunu local government, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What stake do you have politically? Those who see you as an outsider, some say that they are seeing your face for the first time. Why should they trust you with their vote on Saturday?
I am an unusual candidate.
In what sense?
New to the politics of the state, the party is new to the politics of the state, running on a new platform. That makes me it's an unusual situation. That makes me an unusual candidate. And of course, you need an unusual candidate to put an end to the unusual poverty that is in the state.
So do you think the people can trust a newbie, a newcomer, an outsider, who understand little or nothing about how government works with their destiny?
When you're talking about,
is that what you're asking?
When you're talking about how government works, I see government as an enterprise, right? Because we've had 4 governors over 2 decades, in about 27 years. And what we've been getting is poverty. The level of poverty has been on the increase because they've been depending largely on the federal allocation. So you can imagine our budget for this year, 172 billion, 88% of the budget is dependent on federal allocation. Only 12% on IGR. So this has brought about limited cash flow in our economy, and that's why we have so much poverty. So why won't the people trust me with the government when I've been able to move from zero in my life, in my business, to where I am today?
You say you're a wealth creator.
Yes.
And that's what you're putting topped on your campaign. You're telling the people of Kogi State that you're a wealth creator as a private sector person.
Correct.
And in that sense, what exactly are you telling them in terms of wealth creation for the people of Kogi State? How do you hope to create wealth?
Okay. The poverty in the land is due to the fact that we don't have enough money in circulation because our government have been depending on federal allocation largely. So what do? It means the state need to make money. And for the state to make money, the state can't make money if the people in the state are not making money. So what should be our primary focus? To help our people to start making money. How do you help them to start making money? It means you must be able to create products that you're taking out of the state for monies to come into the state. You must create services that you're exchanging for money, helping our people. And that's why we develop our START agenda. STAT, solid minerals, tourism, agriculture, and trade as means of driving cash flow into our economy.
What would you like Kogi State to be known for? Because, I have been an advocate of subnationals having title in the sense of economic development. I've been an advocate of saying, look, subnationals must have an identity of what they are adding to the national economy. What kind of tag, what kind of name, what kind of identity do you think Kogi State can have? For example, Ethiopia, you mentioned Ethiopia and then the African economy. You talk about sesame, you talk about coffee. For Kogi State, what do you think that Kogi State can export to the rest of the world?
First, you see, everything is contained in our START agenda. Number one, solid minerals. We are rich in solid minerals. But the problem, due to lack of visionary leadership, we've not been able to make the most of it. So what do we intend to do? Help our people through the processes, prospecting, licensing, exploration, and exploitation. Because we understand the legal framework required for strategic partnership. So you help our people to access licenses from the federal government, bring in technical partners for them, issue necessary guarantee to help them access funding for exploration and exploitation. So you're creating products you are taking out of the state for monies to come into the state. Number two, tourism. Tourism alone is enough to even activate and transform our economy. The commercial organization and operation of holidays plus visits to places of interest. So when you look at Kogi State, by virtue of our geographical configuration, from Usikoko Cave, the only confluence in Nigeria is right there in Kogi State. We have the Mount Pati that's about 1,500 feet above sea level, right in the heart of the town. We have the Agbaja Plateau, is about 1,500 feet above sea level as well. The place is always cold throughout the year. We have the Obangogo in Kaba. We have the Oraha in Mopa. We have the Omi Dam in Omi.
These are a lot. These are a lot.
A whole lot of these things. So tourism.
Governments are very poor in driving economic, in creating this kind of, literally what government should be doing is to create an environment for the private sector to thrive.
Exactly. It's visionary leadership that is lacking.
How are you going to do this?
How am I going to?
What, for example, in a Dubai, for example, people flying to Dubai. Dubai is just one out of perhaps the 7 Emirates region of the United Arab Emirates. But several people fly into Dubai and they fly out and they spend a lot of money and it becomes a huge tourist center across the globe. But which one would you say would generate enormous wealth for the people of Kogi? Just one.
Let me tell you.
And how much can you have you done the numbers to know how much you can generate?
Tourism. We are targeting 2 million visitors in the next 3 to 4 years. Visitors into our state. When you have 2 million people visit our state annually, if they spend 100,000 naira only inside our state, it means we would have attracted about 200 billion naira into our economy. Remember, our people are poor because we don't have enough money in circulation in our economy. If 2 million visitors stay in Kogi State, average of 5 nights in a year, that's about 10 million nights of hotel sales and short-let sales. You see the numbers? At an average of 100,000 naira per night, that's about 1 trillion naira cash inflow into our economy. Now, hotel sales tax in most part of the world is about 20%. 20% of 1 trillion will be about 200 billion naira in IGR for our state. Our IGR for last year is about 18 billion. Projected IGR for 2023 is about 24 billion. And it can achieve about 200 billion in the next 3 to 4 years, having 2 million visitors in our state annually.
And now, I mean, your state is one of the states that has so much neighboring states.
I will come to that. I will tell you the specific numbers. We are bordered with about 10 states, with 10 states specifically, and we have a combined population of about 56 million people connected by the 1,172 kilometers of federal roads. Now, this is a huge market that is bigger than Lagos market. So when you look at it, and that's one of the reasons in our start agenda, we plan to turn Kogi to a trade center. A trade center because the northerners pass through our state with foods to the south. The southerners pass through our state with other goods from Aba, from Odisha, from Lagos to the north. So we turn our state to trade center. Everything you can get from the north, we have in Kogi. Everything you can get from the south, we bring them to Kogi. So people coming to buy and to sell in Kogi State.
And I imagine I've had road travels, perhaps unknowingly pass through your village because when you're coming from the part of North Central, you pass through Ayetoro and the rest, and you have a stop to have pounded yam and vegetable. Unfortunately, go back there after some years, you discover that the road through which you can pass, the road is bad. You have to go through another road. Infrastructure is a major driver to economic development in any part of the world. In terms of infrastructure, what is your plan?
Now, you see, development does not occur by chance or by happenstance. Development occurs by deliberate, intentional, and coordinated actions of a visionary leader. So when you're talking about infrastructure development, all of these come together when we're talking about developing our tourism sector. Providing infrastructure, especially the road infrastructure in our state. We can do this construction, road construction, drainages, and schools and all of those things at a reduced cost because we have a whole lot of these materials within our state. Quarry products are available within our state. Sharp sand is available within our state. And we can negotiate for a trade credit for cement, to help in our infrastructure development within our state.
But I mean, why do people think Olayinka Brahima is a smart kid? He's got a lot of ideas, but he may not be able to win. Why do they think so?
Well, because they are not used to the unusual candidate that I am.
Take us through the numbers that make you win. The strategy in which you are employing to win this election. Okay. Far and above the APC, the PDP, the AA, the Labour.
I'll tell you, because today it's more about the person than the party today. And I can tell you categorically, when you look at the numbers across board, in terms of registered voters, 40% are students and youth. And majority of our students and our youth graduates, there's virtually no community you get to in Kogi State that they're not there jobless. And we've been able to get across to all of these people with over 200 town hall meetings across the state, meeting with pastors, meeting with the imams, speaking to spiritual leaders, people of influence across the state, in their blocks, in the singular unit. And we've been able to do this. And women in politics, and all sorts of professionals that understand the need and the urgency for wealth creation. And they're buying the message and they've bought into it. And that's why I'm confident of the fact that with the acceptability in the polity of the state, this will be the first time in the history of Kogi State that you have an unusual candidate making this impact.
So you think you can win it?
I'm not thinking that I can win it. I know I am the next governor.
Of Kogi State?
Of Kogi State.
If you don't win the election, what will happen?
If I don't win the election, except the election is not going to hold on Saturday, that's when I will not be the governor of Kogi State.
Is your pastor or your imam telling you something?
It's not a function of pastor or imam. It's a function of the fact that it is a burden that came on me. I didn't just get on the race.
You have the conviction.
I am sure, I'm certain that I am the next
should you not win this election, would you be willing to work with anyone who wins?
You know what? Visionary leadership.
Because the election is about winning or losing.
Visionary
lose,
leadership. All right. I'll give you an example. I gave this example on Sunrise Daily some few days back. And I said, so many state governments today, you lobby, you bribe, you beg to get a certificate of occupancy. These are instruments for funding that should help you drive in cash flow into your economy, to increase the cash flow in your economy to reduce poverty. But you have governors that have a lot of people that they can engage to help them in all of this process, but they wouldn't because they lack visionary leadership.
But
on your question,
your resolve that should you not win, you will try again and again and again.
I don't have a plan B.
The only plan is to win the election.
That is the only plan. That is the only option. I don't have a plan B.
Olayinka Brahman, the governorship candidate of the Action Alliance in Kogi, said I wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
And the best man win on Saturday.
Of course.
Thank you. Well, as Olayinka Brahman of the AA in Kogi State governorship election of Saturday. Well, that's our show for tonight. From tomorrow, there's something I'm packaging for all of you for tomorrow and Saturday and all of that. Don't miss it because tomorrow I'm going to unravel it for you. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Bye-bye.